Hi, I'm Jamie Flinchbaugh, host of People Solve Problems, and today we have a guest, Nick Katko. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Jamie. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you on. So, by way of background, Nick is the president and owner of BMA, 30 years of experience practicing lean accounting, coaches companies to teaches them how to use lean accounting to solve problems, and that'll really be the theme of our topic here today. Um, so not of all of our listeners are, certainly not lean accounting experts, and many are not even lean experts.
Yeah,
So I should just explain, just for everyone has context, what is lean accounting and how does it fit?
sure. Well, think of lean accounting and add another word to it, system, lean accounting system. And this is not about it's not about debits and credits, things like that. There's two pieces to any accounting function. There's two pieces. One is the financial accounting. That is processing the transactions, producing the financial statements. Lean accounting, a part of the lean accounting system that applies to that part of the accounting function is creating continuous improvement inside the accounting function to eliminate waste and improve productivity. The other piece of an accounting system is management accounting. So this is basically the information that is used inside the business to run the business. And what happens in a lean company is that the users, people who are analyzing and making decisions, they need different information that is relevant and reliable to lean. And so it's about making that transformation so that you make better business decisions.
Fantastic. And this has been something I've been curious about ever since reading Relevance Lost, which was sort of transformational book in my own thinking. Um, can you just, before we go more into the how it gets leveraged, um, management accounting by itself has sort of gone away as a practice and a thought exercise a bit. Um, so you're sort of bringing it back, but also bringing it back differently. Can you shed some light onto why and why it sort of went away, and maybe why this sort of rebirth through lean accounting systems can be so transformational?
The rebirth really is related to, and I'm going to just go back to, the how lean thinking really got started primarily in manufacturing. So I'm going back in the past, and people like me, people like Gene Cunningham, Ori Fumi, Mark Delugio, Jerry Solomon, all, in the late 80s, early to mid 90s, as their companies became lean, they realized that the information that the management accounting system was producing was not helping. And so all of us in our own ways basically changed things. And then it took all those people and my retired colleague Brian Maskell to put it all together into systems. And that's really what it's all about. And so that's been like the rebirth. I mean, if you're not a lean company, you're probably not going to understand much about why lean accounting is important. That's, I'll be honest.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair, but I think we can highlight this in ways that gets people curious. So
Yeah.
let me talk about the word system a little bit. Um, a lot of us at different points, especially if we ran businesses, we'd go do an exercise. We would go look at the numbers, try to answer a question, dig in, and gain some insight, right?
Yeah.
That's not a system, that's an exercise. So why is it being a system so important?
It's a system because you have people analyze and make decisions. It's a thinking process. Numbers are the tools, Then you have the operations of the business, and all these things need to be considered. Then you have the operating practices of the business, and it's all about piecing together cause and effect relationships. What I always say, if you want to improve financial performance, you have to do something operationally. Something has to change. Cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
And what the various practices and numbers of lean accounting give people in lean companies that ability to do that.
Yep. Awesome. So in that system, there's sort of two phases. If I oversimplify problem solving, there's identifying problem solving, and then there's, actually executing problem solving. I think there's a common mental model that the financial side, the numbers side, is much more about identifying the problems than solving them. So maybe from a lean accounting standpoint, is that still true? Is it more about problem identification, or is it about both?
It depends on how you're looking at things. If you see a problem in the numbers, then you have to do the root cause analysis operationally. What caused the problem? If you're making some improvements operationally, then what you're trying to do is saying, what's the financial impact? So it really depends on what you're looking at. But I always tell the finance people, I say it's difficult to simply try to drill down into your accounting system, the numbers, and find the root cause. Because it may not have a dollar sign in front of it. And you have to understand the operational performance and make those connections. The other piece is that you can't do this on a monthly cycle, the traditional monthly accounting cycle, because if you see a problem at the end of the month numbers, well, you might be able to get to a root cause, but it's too late to do anything about it. Mm-hmm. So you have to have more active cycles like daily and weekly to do this analysis, to catch the root causes, adjust, and maybe, have an impact on financials before the end of the month.
I think that's an underestimated impact. I love one of my favorite words is granularity. And without the granularity, you can miss all sorts of things. I always talk about product development teams, stop measuring your projects in weeks and measure them in days, because it gives you that granularity. Because, as a week is if you say 2 weeks, is that 14 days, 10 days, or 5 days plus a 5-day buffer? It's a lot of different answers there. So I like that aspect of just increasing the fidelity, the granularity, so you can actually see what's going on for some of those problems. Let me talk about that verification of the backside. Am I actually having the impact? A lot of continuous improvement programs get stuck in a hard savings, soft savings type of problem, and there's a lot of things like defect avoidance, a safety problem avoidance, cycle time reduction, which because we don't have the hard numbers, they end up soft, and then at some point companies say, well, we're not even going to give you credit for the soft savings. And then some of those improvements get devalued. So how does lean accounting change that dilemma that CI gets into?
Yeah, and I would say the one advantage of lean accounting is the numbers avoid this soft savings, because again, that's sort of like a traditional finance paradigm that everything you do needs to save cost or reduce cost, save money. Mm-hmm. In fact, then this is part of the learning process. The fact of the matter is that um, if any continuous improvement event, or well, not any, but most, if you eliminate waste, you're stopping doing something or you're reducing doing something.
Right.
So if you stop spending time on doing something, you have created time. That's the hard number.
Mm-hmm.
How much of you time have you created? Which then begs the question sometimes to get to the financial piece, what are you going to do with that time? So, simple example, reducing changeover time on a machine. You go from 2 hours to 30 minutes. So you pick up an hour and a half of time. Can you produce and sell more? If the answer is yes, the financial impact is more sales and more contribution margin. There's no cost savings. Mm-hmm. That's really what lean accounting is about. It's about understanding what's really going on. The danger of soft savings is what you said. We save this much time, we're going to multiply it by some rate, and we're going to say this is what we saved. And smart people say, no, that's not going to show up. I'm not giving you credit for that. And so you have people who are trying to do improvement going like this, saying, what do we do?
Right.
So it gives you tools for everybody to use. It's not just for accounting and finance.
Well, and I think that, as you said earlier, piecing together cause and effects, which is, kind of one of my core competencies of problem solving is I think key there, because we want people to be curious about what's actually happening. Dig a little deeper, go a little rigorous. And this helps do that. So let's talk a bit about, so that's a bit of the why, right? Let's talk more about the how, especially the transformation. And I want to start at the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
And that is, who's often the initiator of wanting to go to lean accounting? Is it the CI, the lean team that sees that as a hindrance, or the lack of it, hindrance to their own intent? Or is it the accounting team that gets curious about, is there a better way, or somewhere else?
It's really between those three groups. I would say it's between operational and continuous improvement people in a lean company, finance, accounting people, and then owners or executives. Those two groups are usually, and I would say a little bit more lean CI people would be first, especially small business owners second, and maybe the finance people third.
Okay.
Because it's not like the finance people are oblivious to this.
Right.
Just, these other two groups are saying it. And so they're the ones who are saying, they're not pointing any fingers at finance, but they're just saying we don't have the information we need, and we're not sure what we need. Mm-hmm. But we know we need something different.
Yeah. Now, just in evaluating organizations that adapt to this well and don't, I certainly, and this is a massive oversimplification, but I see some finance groups that are very much a report up, our customers up, and we're giving them information, and others that are an outward service. We're here to help people make decisions. Yeah. Do they need the right mindset before they start, or can this journey change their mindset about their primary role there?
The transformation journey can change their mindset. I think the initial mindset change is that eliminate sort of the certainty that we have it all figured out. And just open up your mind a little bit and, let's learn. It's about learning. Mm-hmm. And it's about learning in a collaborative way. I would say one of the reasons finance people may not understand lean accounting is they don't understand lean and both its operational impact and its potential financial impact.
Yeah.
And that's where I always say, talk to them about what lean can do financially. If they're numbers people and they, that'll get them interested.
Right. Right. Well, and that point of a learner's mindset, right? And I like to say all models are wrong and some are useful, and finance is just a model of reality. And we often confuse the precision of it with, how well it represents reality, which is a lot of what you're trying to do here, make it better represent what's actually going on, cause and effect again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a finance leader in the organization, do I need to become a lean thinker? Do I need to just become a lean accounting expert, or do I just need to learn how to operate in a different system?
You need to understand lean at a high level, what it means. You don't have to understand how to conduct an improvement event, but you got to understand why improvement events are important. You have to and grasp this concept of waste and how prevalent it is throughout the organization. You have to understand lean. You have to be willing to listen with an open mind to the CI people that are working in your company, and be inquisitive, learn, don't, and once you understand that, then everything else sort of can fall into place. But you can't sort of dismiss it like, oh, that's something operations does. I don't need to be concerned with that.
Yeah.
I'm not talking just about like CFO people, controller people. I'm talking about people like cost analysts that are really in the trenches looking at operations.
Right.
They got to be involved in it that way, that thinking.
Great. So we just have a little bit of time left, but I want to maybe get a snapshot of the journey. And I know this is like the ultimate it depends question because of the complexity and everything else. But let's just imagine a $100 million company, single operation, not multi-division or anything like that. They're already doing lean. They just haven't done anything with lean accounting. What's the core steps of a journey or transformation, and in general, how long might it take them?
Step one is the three groups I talked about earlier: senior leaders, finance, operations / improvement, or those 3 to 4 groups need to understand how lean accounting fits in a lean business model or a lean strategy. So that's sort of just general education and training. Number one. Starting lean accounting, implementing transitioning is no different than lean. Start with a pilot. Prove the concepts. Basically create the numbers and learn how to use the numbers. You develop a team of people who learned. Once you've completed the pilot, and think of the pilot as a PDCA cycle that can be done in a few months. It's not like we're looking at years. Then you develop standard work to take it to other parts of the business. So it's, create the model line, the pilot, and then start replicating. And then you just, when I'm working, it's always like value stream by value stream. And, get the operational piece down. Then you start expanding it out. For example, like sales and marketing. How do we analyze the profitability of pricing? So there's ways to do that in lean accounting that's different than traditional ways.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, and it never ends. It's not like you put the system in and then you just forget about it. You're always looking for ways to improve it, but it's not difficult to do if you commit to doing it and learning and understand that you're going to hit roadblocks, you're going to hit some obstacles, and you just have to work to overcome them.
Yep.
But you don't know what they are sometimes till you start.
Right. A great snapshot, and I think the ingredients of the commitment and the learning are essential. If people want to learn more, there's the you authored the Lean CFO, you co-authored Practicing Lean Accounting, and of course, people can reach out to you directly to learn more from you. So, Nick, thanks for coming on and talking about this.
Thanks a lot, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Are you a leader looking to level up your skills? Discover the J. Flinch Learning Lab, your gateway to insightful video courses on culture change, management systems, problem solving, and much more. Immerse yourself into content created by me and transform your leadership approach. Ready to grow? Visit jflinch.com/learning lab and use code PODCAST for an exclusive 30% discount. Invest in your leadership journey today.